Thank you. All right. Man, I'm fired up too. I am definitely ready to go. It is good to be back in Virginia. It's good to be back in Norfolk. The last time I campaigned, in Hampton Roads, I was running for re-election for a very important reason. I am here to ask you to vote for the next governor of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger. If you have not voted yet, make a plan to vote on Election Day, November 4th. Just visit abigailspanberger.com/vote. You can find out where to vote. You can also find a drop box for your mail ballot. And then you've got to get all your friends and your family to make a plan to vote.
Okay, so this is absolutely incredible, and it's energizing Democrats heading into 2026. Barack Obama just gave what might be the most devastating takedown of Donald Trump we've ever seen. Obama was campaigning for Democratic candidates in Virginia and New Jersey, and he went off on Trump, called him worse than I ever imagined, mocked his gaudy White House renovations, his cryptocurrency grifting, his AI-generated propaganda videos, his attacks on protesters, and the crowds went absolutely wild. We're talking about people on their feet cheering, chanting "No more Trump," laughing as Obama delivered line after line skewering Trump's corruption and incompetence and ridiculousness. This wasn't Obama being restrained and presidential. This was Obama letting loose, really going after Trump in ways we haven't seen from him before, and it's clearly connecting with voters. The clips are going viral, the lines are being quoted everywhere, and Democrats are feeling energized and motivated in a way they haven't been in months. But before we go any further, real quick, let's be honest, you can't really trust headlines anymore. That's why we built Pump Politics to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, join our free newsletter. We'll send the news straight to your inbox every day. Just click the link in the description to join. And if you just want to support what we're doing, join us, be part of the community that actually cares about the truth. All right, let's get back to the video.
Mean-spiritedness and just plain craziness. We got a president who thinks it's okay to use the Justice Department to go after his political opponents. Hey, wait, don't boo. Vote. They don't hear boos, they hear votes. So we've got a president who replaces career prosecutors with loyalists who will do what he wants, and now he's telling them what he wants is for them to hand over millions of taxpayer dollars that he had to pay in expenses for previously violating the law.
The specific criticisms Obama leveled are devastating because they're based on facts that everyone can see. The $300 million White House renovations, while the government is shut down and federal workers aren't getting paid, that's real. That happened. Trump is spending hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars, making the White House more luxurious while Americans are suffering. Obama calling that out in front of thousands of people, talking about gold-plated offices and ballrooms while working families struggle, that's powerful messaging because it shows exactly who Trump cares about. Not working Americans, just himself and his wealthy friends, and Obama contrasting Trump's spending on himself with Trump's refusal to fund programs that help ordinary people. That's the kind of class-based argument that resonates across party lines. You don't need to be a partisan Democrat to be outraged by a president who spends lavishly on himself while refusing to pay federal workers their wages. That's just basic fairness, basic decency. And Trump is violating both. The cryptocurrency scandal is another perfect example of Trump's corruption. Trump and his family have been promoting cryptocurrency schemes, getting paid to endorse crypto projects, making money off their political influence. And these crypto schemes are often scams that rip off ordinary investors. People buy in because Trump promotes it. They lose their savings. And Trump and his family walk away with millions. That's grifting. That's using the presidency as a money-making scheme. And Obama calling that out, saying Trump's White House is all about helping his friends and billionaire pals. That's exactly right. And it's the kind of corruption that voters understand. You don't need to understand complicated policy to understand that the president shouldn't be getting rich off scams while in office. You don't need to understand cryptocurrency technology to understand that the president promoting investment schemes that hurt ordinary people while enriching himself and his family is wrong, is corrupt. It's exactly the kind of swamp behavior Trump promised to end, but instead has embraced and expanded. Obama's reference to the AI-generated Trump videos is particularly brilliant. Trump has been using AI to create these bizarre propaganda videos, including one showing him as a king with a crown and royal imagery, and another showing Trump supposedly dumping poop on protesters. These videos are absurd, they're embarrassing, and Obama seizing on them, calling them out as distractions and mockery of American citizens, that's smart politics. Because these videos make Trump look unserious, make him look like he's more interested in internet trolling than governing. And Obama can point to these videos and say, this is your president? This is the guy you want running the country? Someone who spends his time making fake videos of himself as a king? Someone who creates propaganda, showing him dumping waste on American citizens who are exercising their First Amendment rights? That's devastating. That makes Trump look small and petty and ridiculous. The every day is Halloween, all tricks and no treats line is absolutely perfect. It's funny, it's memorable, and it perfectly captures what Trump's presidency has been like. Constant chaos, constant scandals, constant lies, and no actual benefits for ordinary Americans. All tricks, all the time, Trump spends on social media, on grievances, on attacking enemies, and no treats, no actual policy achievements that help people, no healthcare improvements, no infrastructure, no solutions to real problems, just endless drama and corruption. That line is going to stick, is going to be repeated and memed and shared, and it's going to define how people think about Trump's presidency. Because it's true, Trump promised so much, said he'd make America great again, said he'd bring back jobs, said he'd fix healthcare, said he'd rebuild infrastructure, but none of that has happened. Instead, we've got nonstop scandals and chaos, and Trump enriching himself. The crowd response is really significant politically because it shows Democratic voters are fired up, they're angry at Trump, they're ready to vote, they're enthusiastic about the fight against Trump, and that enthusiasm is going to translate to turnout in 2026. When you have thousands of people chanting and cheering and standing and applauding, when you have that level of energy at a political rally, that's predictive of high voter turnout. Democrats struggle with enthusiasm in 2024. A lot of Democratic voters were dispirited or felt like voting didn't matter, but Obama's speeches are helping to reverse that, are giving Democrats something to be excited about and motivated to vote for. The energy in those Norfolk and Newark rallies was electric. People were hanging on Obama's every word, erupting in applause and laughter. The worse than even I expected framing is also really powerful because Obama was Trump's predecessor. Obama knows what the presidency entails. Obama has credibility when it comes to evaluating presidential conduct. And Obama saying Trump is worse than he imagined, that carries weight. That's not partisan spin. That's someone with direct knowledge and experience saying Trump has exceeded even the worst expectations. That Trump's corruption and incompetence and threats to democracy are worse than anyone could have predicted. And that's a message that resonates with voters who might have been willing to give Trump a chance, but are now seeing how disastrous his presidency is. Obama's description of Trump making up conspiracies and tearing us apart and feeding people nonsense, that's a direct attack on Trump's core political strategy. Trump's entire playbook is based on conspiracy theories and division and lies. Trump doesn't unite people around positive visions. He divides people using fear and anger. He promotes conspiracy theories to explain away his failures and to attack his enemies. And he just lies constantly about everything. And Obama is calling that out explicitly. It's saying this is what Trump does and it's destroying the country. All right, so let's dig into why Obama's criticisms are so effective and why they're resonating so strongly right now. First, Obama has maintained incredibly high favorability ratings even years after leaving office. Most Americans view Obama positively. He's seen as competent, intelligent, dignified. The contrast with Trump couldn't be starker. Obama is everything Trump isn't: thoughtful instead of impulsive, articulate instead of rambling, honest instead of constantly lying, gracious instead of petty. So when Obama speaks about Trump, people listen because Obama has credibility. And when someone with that much credibility says Trump is worse than I ever imagined, that carries enormous weight. It's not just partisan Democrats saying Trump is bad. It's someone widely respected saying Trump has failed in catastrophic ways. Second, Obama is addressing the things that are actually bothering voters: the corruption, the chaos, the sense that Trump cares only about himself and his wealthy friends. These aren't abstract policy disagreements. These are visceral complaints that people feel. When voters see Trump spending $300 million on White House renovations while their paychecks aren't coming because of the shutdown, that makes them angry. When they see Trump's family getting rich off crypto schemes while they struggle to pay bills, that makes them angry. And Obama is validating that anger, is saying, yes, you should be angry about this. This is corruption, this is wrong, and we need to do something about it. That validation is powerful. It helps people channel their frustration into political action. Third, Obama's use of humor is incredibly effective. The Halloween line, the jokes about gold-plated offices and ballrooms, the mocking of the AI videos, all of that is funny. And humor is a really effective political weapon because it's hard to look powerful and dominant when people are laughing at you. Trump's whole brand is based on being strong and winning. But when Obama is making crowds laugh at Trump's expense, when Trump is being portrayed as ridiculous and small, that undermines Trump's brand, makes him look weak, and Trump hates being laughed at, hates being mocked. We've seen him lash out at comedians and satirists who make fun of him. So Obama's humor isn't just entertaining, it's strategically damaging to Trump. Fourth, Obama is connecting Trump's behavior to real harm to real people. The shutdown, the corruption, the attacks on democracy. Obama isn't just saying Trump is bad in the abstract. He's explaining how Trump's actions hurt ordinary Americans, hurt working families, hurt people who depend on government services. That makes the criticism personal, makes it about voters' lives rather than just political abstractions. And that's the kind of message that motivates people to vote. Because people vote when they feel like elections matter to their daily lives, when they see direct connections between who's in office and whether they can pay their bills or get health care or send their kids to good schools. Obama is drawing those connections explicitly. The specific examples Obama used are all things that have gotten extensive media coverage. The White House renovations, the crypto schemes, the AI videos. So voters are familiar with these stories. They've seen them in the news, and Obama is synthesizing them, is connecting them into a broader narrative about Trump's corruption and unsuitability for office. That's what voters need, not just isolated stories about Trump doing bad things, but a coherent explanation of what Trump is and why he needs to be opposed. Obama is providing that narrative, is saying here's the pattern. Trump enriches himself and his friends while ignoring the needs of ordinary Americans. And that pattern is clear and undeniable. Obama's campaign appearances in Virginia and New Jersey are also strategically important. Virginia has a governor's race and state legislative elections. New Jersey has legislative races. These are crucial elections for Democrats. Winning in Virginia and New Jersey sends a message, helps build momentum heading into 2026. And Obama campaigning there shows Democrats are taking these races seriously, are investing resources and bringing out their biggest names. And Obama's presence generates media coverage and voter enthusiasm that help Democratic candidates up and down the ballot. So this isn't just about Obama criticizing Trump. It's about Obama helping Democrats win important elections. The crowd chants of "No More Trump" are significant because they show how unpopular Trump has become, even among people who might have supported him in the past. These rallies are in Virginia and New Jersey, states that have a mix of Democratic and Republican voters. And the fact that crowds there are enthusiastically chanting against Trump shows his political weakness, shows that opposition to Trump is intense and widespread, and that intensity is going to translate to turnout. People who feel strongly enough to chant at a rally are going to vote, are going to volunteer for campaigns, are going to talk to their friends and neighbors about the election. That grassroots energy is what wins elections. The social media amplification of Obama's speeches is also crucial. In modern politics, the rally is just the beginning. What matters more is how the message spreads online. And Obama's lines are perfectly designed for social media. Short, punchy, funny, memorable, easy to quote and share. The worse than I ever imagined line, the Halloween line, the mockery of the AI videos, all of that works beautifully on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram. People are sharing these clips, are making memes, are engaging with the content in ways that spread the message far beyond Obama's immediate audience. That's the multiplier effect that makes Obama so valuable to Democrats. The comparison between Obama and Trump as public speakers is also really striking. Obama is articulate, witty, compelling. He makes complex points clearly. He uses humor effectively. He connects with audiences. Trump, by contrast, is rambling, incoherent, repetitive. He struggles to complete sentences. He gets lost mid-thought. He repeats the same catchphrases over and over. Watching clips of Obama and Trump back to back is shocking how different they are. And that contrast reinforces the message that Trump is unfit for office, that we had a competent president in Obama, and now we have someone who's manifestly not up to the job in Trump. Obama's warning about threats to democracy is also really important, because Trump is threatening democracy through his election denial, through his attacks on courts and the justice system, through his attempts to intimidate judges and prosecutors, through his threats of military action against citizens. All of that adds up to an authoritarian threat, and Obama is making that explicit. It's saying this isn't normal partisan politics. This is a president who's attacking the fundamental institutions of democracy, and voters need to take that seriously. need to understand that 2026 isn't just about which party controls Congress. It's about whether we're going to preserve democratic governance or slide into authoritarianism. Obama's reference to Trump helping his friends and billionaire pals is also really important, class-based messaging, because that's what Trump does. Tax cuts for the wealthy, deregulation that helps corporations at the expense of workers and consumers, corruption that enriches Trump and his family and their business associates, all while ordinary Americans struggle. Obama is making that contrast explicit. It's saying Trump talks like he's for working people, but his actions show he only cares about the wealthy. That's effective populist messaging that can peel away some of Trump's working class support. All right, let's break down what Obama's campaign appearances mean for 2026 and for the broader fight against Trump. Point number one, Obama getting this directly involved in campaigns shows how seriously Democrats are taking 2026. Obama has been somewhat selective about his campaign involvement since leaving office. He doesn't campaign for every Democrat in every race, he picks his spots. And the fact that he's campaigning now in November 2025, a full year before the 2026 elections, shows Democrats understand how crucial these elections are, shows they're not waiting until the last minute. They're building momentum early, and Obama is the most effective surrogate Democrats have, so deploying him this early and this aggressively is smart strategic politics. Point number two, Obama's message is perfectly calibrated to motivate Democratic base voters while also appealing to independents. The corruption arguments work with everyone. Even Trump supporters don't like corruption. They just don't believe Trump is corrupt, or they think all politicians are corrupt, so Trump's no worse than anyone else. But Obama is making the case that Trump's corruption is exceptional, is worse than normal politics, and that case can persuadable voters. Meanwhile, the humor and the energy of Obama's speeches fires up base Democrats who are hungry for someone to fight back against Trump effectively. So Obama is threading the needle, appealing to different audiences with the same message. Point number three, the viral nature of Obama's clips creates a permission structure for voters to oppose Trump. When people see crowds cheering and laughing at Obama's criticisms of Trump, when they see that opposition to Trump is mainstream and popular, it makes them more comfortable expressing their own opposition. People don't want to be outliers. They want to be part of the mainstream. And Obama's rallies create the sense that opposing Trump is normal and right and popular. That emboldens people who might have been afraid to speak out, and that can shift political momentum in significant ways. Point number four, Obama's criticisms are going to get under Trump's skin and provoke responses that hurt Trump. Trump cannot ignore criticism from Obama. Trump is obsessed with Obama, views Obama as a rival and a threat, and when Obama mocks Trump, when Obama makes crowds laugh at Trump, Trump is going to lash out, is going to attack Obama on social media, is going to say angry defensive things, and those responses are going to make Trump look petty and weak, are going to show Trump as someone who can't rise above criticism, who gets baited easily, and that's going to reinforce Obama's message that Trump is unfit for office. Point number five, these early campaign appearances set the stage for a major Democratic effort in 2026. If Democrats can maintain this level of energy and enthusiasm for a full year, if they can keep voters engaged and motivated through the whole election cycle, they're going to do really well in 2026. The challenge is always maintaining enthusiasm, not letting it peak too early and then fade before election day. But Obama doing rallies in November 2025 creates early momentum that can be sustained through surrogates and local organizing and media coverage. So this is the beginning of a long campaign. Point number six, Obama's involvement signals to Democratic donors and activists that the party is unified and serious about winning. When you have a former president actively campaigning a year before elections, that sends a message to everyone in the party. It tells donors this is worth investing in, tells activists their work matters, tells candidates they're not alone, the party is behind them, and that creates positive feedback loops. More donors give money, more volunteers sign up, candidates feel more confident and run better campaigns. Looking ahead, what should we watch for? First, how does Trump respond to Obama's criticism? Does he ignore them, or does he attack Obama? And if he attacks, what does he say? Trump's response will tell us how threatened he feels. Second, does Obama continue to campaign actively through 2026? Or was this a one-time burst of activity? If Obama stays involved and does more rallies as we get closer to the election, that's going to be really valuable for Democrats. Third, do other prominent Democrats follow Obama's lead in directly attacking Trump's corruption and unfitness? If you start seeing other Democratic leaders using similar language and making similar arguments, that creates a coordinated message that's really effective. Fourth, how does the media cover Obama's appearances? If mainstream media treats Obama's criticisms as newsworthy and plays them prominently, that extends their reach. Fifth, do polls show Trump's approval declining or Democratic enthusiasm increasing after Obama's rallies? Polling will tell us whether Obama's message is actually moving voters or just energizing people who were already opposed to Trump? 6. Do Republican candidates start distancing themselves from Trump? If Republicans in competitive races see that Trump is becoming more toxic, they might try to put space between themselves and Trump. The bottom line is Obama is doing what Democrats desperately need, making a clear, compelling, entertaining case against Trump that resonates with voters and generates enthusiasm. Obama is reminding people why they oppose Trump, is giving them language and arguments they can use, is making them feel less alone in their opposition, and is creating viral moments that spread the message far beyond his immediate audience. That's incredibly valuable politically, and is coming at exactly the right time, just as Trump's presidency is spiraling with multiple crises, just as Trump's behavior is getting more erratic and authoritarian, just as voters are looking for alternatives and hope. Obama is providing that hope, is showing that Trump can be defeated, that his corruption and incompetence can be called out, that there's a better way. And that message is energizing Democrats and creating momentum for 2026. If Democrats can maintain this energy, if they can turn enthusiasm into votes, 2026 could be a wave election that fundamentally changes the political landscape, that strips Trump of congressional support and makes him a lame duck for the rest of his term. That sets up Democrats to win the presidency in 2028. That shows the country that Trump's brand of corrupt authoritarian politics can be rejected by voters. That's what's at stake, and Obama's rallies are the opening salvo in the campaign to make that happen. Obama is showing Democrats how to fight, how to message, how to energize voters. And if Democrats follow Obama's lead, if they adopt his clear moral arguments and his use of humor and his ability to connect with audiences, they can win big in 2026. The energy is there, the anger at Trump is there, the desire for change is there. Obama is channeling all of that into political action, and the results could be historic.